Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FutureDDS Dental School Experience Series, where we will help you decide which dental school is right for you. Every school is unique and will provide a different dental school experience. So who better to explain that experience than a student at that school? Our goal is to give you a firsthand perspective of every dental school program across America and ultimately help you in making the right decision. So today, we'll be showcasing Nisha Patel, who's a third-year student at University of Pennsylvania School of Dental Medicine. Hey, how you doing, Nisha?
Hey, so hi everyone, I'm good. My name is Daisha. I'm a third year at Penn,
I'm sorry,
and
Nisha.
it's okay. It's the Y confuses people, but you're fine. But yeah, I'm a third year at University of Pennsylvania School of Dental Medicine in Philly. So I'm loving it so far, and it's nice to be in clinic.
Awesome. So I guess could you kind of explain what got you interested in dentistry or kind of about your journey into dental school?
Sure. So I didn't grow up wanting to be a dentist like a lot of people do. So I had like a little different path. I didn't know I wanted to be a dentist until freshman year of college. And it's also because I got braces very late in the game. I got them at the end of my senior year of high school. So all of my graduation photos had braces in them. So that was a good time. And so, yeah, I basically started college with braces, and that was an interesting experience. But going along with that, I thought it was a really cool like field because I never thought about it before. But as I was going to my orthodontist and going to all those appointments and then also my actual dentist, it kind of like I was like, maybe I should check it out. So we had like networking dinners at the University of Maryland where I went to undergrad. And I went to one and I was seated at a table where there was a dentist, and basically he told me his life story and everything. And then I was like, maybe I should look into dentistry. So I started like emailing, trying to see if I could shadow dentists. And I shadowed a couple dentists, including my dentist. And that's where I kind of realized I wanted to do it. So from then on, I kind of like tailored my um, college experience into that. I came in as a bio major, so I basically was already there because I wanted to do something in healthcare, but then I kind of tailored it towards dentistry. So it kind of worked out from there. And so then the decision was, do I want to go straight? Do I want to take a gap year? And I wanted to go straight. I think I was like very motivated to do so. And it could be to all you viewers something you want to do, but it's not necessarily the only thing you could do. So, I mean, I personally wanted to go straight in. So I applied at the end of my junior year and took the DAT and everything. And then I actually applied to, I didn't apply to a lot of schools because I wanted to stay on the East Coast.
Okay.
I'm from the East Coast. And so I applied to less than 10 schools, and they were all like on the East Coast. Um, and I got interviews to 3 or 4.
Okay.
I didn't apply to a lot. And I ended up at not Maryland. I ended up here at Penn. I was choosing between Maryland and Penn.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I don't regret it. I love Penn.
There
It's
we
cool.
go. It worked out, right?
Yeah.
There we go. So I guess if you could, go into, telling a little bit more about how Penn is, exactly how is the city, how big is your class size, just a little bit more information about that.
Yes. So Penn Dental is on the University of Pennsylvania's campus. It's like on the very west side of it, but it's still part of the campus. It's in Philadelphia, so it's a different experience if you never went to a school in the city or never grew up in the city, which is kind of what my experience was. I I love Philadelphia. I've grown to love it. It has character, and I grew up in the suburbs, so like just being here in the city gives you an experience that in your young 20s or however old you are when you go into dental school, gives you an experience that you probably wouldn't get otherwise. Um, and then also Philadelphia has so much history, so to go along with dental school having all of its history and then being in a city like Philadelphia with all of its history kind of like makes you feel like you're in a place that has a lot to offer.
Right.
In terms of Penn as a school, it's a great school. It has a different kind of curriculum than most schools do. Like they actually, this is I think their 4th year of their new curriculum. So when I triggered in, it was the 2nd year of the new curriculum. So
Got
they're still testing out a couple things, but basically it's more of a systems-based curriculum than it is like class-wise. So they kind of like have like classes that the name doesn't really like tell you much about what the class is. It'll be like biological sciences 5 or something, but like
Yeah.
underneath that they'll have like different modules or units that would like be like a specific system, or and then there'll be classes like now in my 3rd year and at the end of your 2nd year you'll be taking like more like dental school related classes, like
Right.
all the specialties, and you kind of do some of that in 1st year too. So that's, I would say that's a really unique feature about Penn. Also it's like very Penn also dental has a lot of history and a lot of very amazing faculty and people there that groundbreaking research. So if you are into research, that's a great place to go.
Ooh.
There's a lot of opportunity there. So I think it has a lot to offer, and if you're someone that wants to absorb all of it, it's a good place to go.
Right.
But saying that, if you don't want to get into research, there's a lot to do otherwise. And yeah, it also has all the specialties. So if you're thinking of going into a specialty, you can kind of like put your feet in the water in all the different places and see what exactly you want to do.
Got you. So how many people are usually in like a first year class there?
Oh, I would say, so my class size was 125, I believe, or 124.
Okay.
And so that's how many people were in my class. But Penn also has a pass program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I don't know if Tufts has that as well. But
Is that like a IS kind of?
kind of. So it's like at the end, actually not the end, at the start of the 2nd semester of your 2nd year, like in January, we add international students that want to get certified and
Right.
licensed in America. So they join us for the rest of D2 and D3 and D4. So with them, I'm not sure exactly how big my class size is, but I think it's about 150 with all of them.
Okay.
Maybe
So about like 30 students.
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
I guess you spoke about it a little bit, wanting to stay on the East Coast. I guess what other factors were you looking at when you were applying to schools and ultimately deciding to go to Penn?
So again, since I never like, I was a little different. I never really like, I didn't research a lot about schools,
Okay.
and a lot of people do and did. So I personally didn't, and I just turned out to be lucky. But I think like if you definitely should as a person like looking into dental schools. There was a lot of surprises when I got to Penn that I wasn't aware of, but I guess I also didn't know anyone that went to the school.
Right.
I knew a couple people, but I didn't know the right questions to ask and what to look for. But I mean, with every dental school, there's like something that's unique about them, but there's also like something that's like the same across all of them.
Right.
But so I never really like chose based on like, oh, like this curriculum or whatever. I kind of like chose like, okay, it's a good school, like it's close by, it's near my family, and just like I guess reputation was something I looked for. I didn't apply to only Ivy Leagues because I didn't even think I would get into Penn, but
Right.
I mean, like I wanted to go to Maryland my entire I guess dental life when I decided I wanted to be a dentist, which is my state school. So definitely would have been the cheaper option. And Maryland's a great school. It's the first dental school in basically the country, so it's a great school to go to. But I guess I was looking at schools similar to Maryland that had like they were well established. I didn't want to go to a new school. I wanted to go to school that basically kind of already knew what was going on, and had people to kind of guide me,
Right.
and had like a big alumni network. So I guess that's what I was looking for, but not very like specific things.
Okay. Yeah, I understand, definitely. So I guess if you can, we'll flash back a little bit. If you can remember back to when you were actually interviewing at UPenn,
Yeah.
Kind of, how was that day going? How'd you feel going into like the interview, the actual, face-to-face interview, and kind of how was the day structured?
So I remember I was really nervous. So I came with my dad and my sister. We drove up from Maryland, and I was pretty nervous. It was a cold day, I think in November, and I had the I had well, I had another interview before then. So, but it was a very different interview from that one. So I guess I was a little like confused as to how it would be set up. Would it be similar or different?
All right.
But when I got there, it was very, very like easy, smooth process. Like they interview about, I want to say like 10 people per interview day.
Mhm.
And basically we go in and there's like you just meet all the other like interviewees, and then they kind of go over the day. They give you like an information session, like a finance session. They're very transparent, which
Right.
I really appreciated, because they basically told you how much everything was going to cost, how much, and like it's expensive. So I
Yes.
appreciate the fact that they were straight up with that, because you don't want to get weird hidden fees and whatever later. They were honest with the fact that tuition does go up every year, so that's something to consider. But they also talked about like financial aid and things like that, and the basic kind of like information about the school. We met the dean of admissions, and the actual interview itself. There were two interviews, and I just remember it was a very very personalized interview process. They knew a lot about you. They basically read your file, so it seemed like the fact that you got an interview was like already like 2/3 of the way in. You just
All
had
right.
to basically be a personable person and see like if you would be a good fit for the school. So I think like overall my interview process there was really good. It was my best interview process. It was very personalized. It was very like it felt like very warm, if I had to choose a word. Like everyone was very helpful. The students were really helpful. Whoever everyone would just walk by and say hello. It seemed like a very friendly atmosphere,
Mm.
and it wasn't like a fake kind of happiness either, because I kind of saw that as I entered school too. So it was a great interview process in that regard.
Got you. So, going from that, actually getting your acceptance and everything, you show up to school, and how was that transition those first couple of weeks? Going from orientation into classes, kind of how do they help you transition into your school and help you settle in?
So the orientation process is very lengthy, but in a good way, because it's 2 weeks. And
Mm.
what they do is like during the day you'll have like information about the school, and you kind of like have like a mini class, kind of like introduce you to like patient care and things like that, and just like basic sciences, I guess. Like but it's nothing like serious, not like like it's not like a really hard class or whatever. But and then we have like a little quiz at the end. But like during that, and then we would have like D2s or rising D2s at that point, because this orientation was 2 weeks before the school year started. They basically were like orientation leaders, and they would plan like fun activities in Philly for us to do, and fun social activities. So we bonded like as a class very early on. So I appreciate that as well.
You were able to kind of get used to the city and
Yeah,
get adjusted to being there. Okay, cool.
yeah.
So, once you get past orientation and you actually get into the bulk of what the schoolwork is, what does like a average day for a first year student look like? From, starting class, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock? Like, what is that? Kind of walk me through a day.
So the schedule is not set. So that's another thing that's different. I'm not sure about Penn that is with other schools, but the schedule is not the same every day, nor it is the same every week.
Okay.
It's a very the class. It's basically like some days you'll have like an 8 a.m. class, some days you'll have like a 10 a.m. class, but everyone has the same schedule.
Mm.
And basically, our classes are 2 hours long. So, for example, if I had class like let's say like 8 to 10, and then I would class 10 to 12,
Mhm.
and then the whole school goes on lunch from 12 to 1, and then we would have class from 1 to 3, and then sometimes 3 to 5, which would
Oh,
be, it was like literally the worst, had 4 classes a day. But most of the time it wouldn't be 4 classes a day, it would be like 3 or 2, and it would just be on like different, one of those time blocks.
mhm.
Most of the classes would start at 10 though. And yeah, the classes were 2 hours long. And basically your first and second year, you're basically going to class a lot, and you have like pre-clinic lab, um, twice or once a week. It was twice a week, but it started off as once a week.
Gotcha.
And that would be like, so we would have like class, and then while one half of the class was in lab, the other class would be other half would be assisting third and fourth years in clinic.
Wow.
So basically you have like a cool like assistant role, kind of see what the clinic's all about, but also have like lab. And we started off with like waxing teeth, and then working our way up to operative and drilling and stuff. So that was first year. Yeah, and it kind of continued on into the end of the year.
Cool. So I guess what would you, I guess, suggest for any potential applicant or anyone looking at UPenn? What would you suggest that they kind of focus on now, whether it's in the classroom or outside with extracurriculars? What should they focus on now to put themselves in the best position to get in and be successful once they do actually get in? You know.
So I guess the main thing is, make sure you're doing well in school, number one. I don't want to be like, get good grades, but definitely get good grades, make sure you're like making school your priority. You don't have to have straight A's, but, just make it known that school is your priority and you're working hard to get where you want to go. But other than that, they also look at you as a well-rounded individual. You kind of want to like dip your toes in things that you're passionate about, but not necessarily do everything either. So like kind of be involved in extracurricular activities. Like something that may have to do with dentistry would be nice too, like, any service related projects or things like that. But you also don't have to be like 100% dental all the time either. Like you can do fun things. I was on a dance team, and that's literally one of the questions that came up in my interview. They literally just wanted to hear about that.
Oh,
And yeah, so that's what I was saying. It's a very personalized interview. They just want to know you as a person. So you kind of want to give off this, like, hi, I'm a person. I'm not just here to be, I'm not just 100% dental all the time. And so they kind of want a well-rounded individual to be able to navigate school, but also, like, be a provider, essentially be a personable provider in the long run as a dentist. So for anyone that is looking at Penn, that is something that they do want you to be well-rounded. They want you to know like what a little bit about Penn, but like also just more like how you get along with others.
right.
Like, because I wouldn't say my school is, well, at least my class is very competitive. So I feel like that would turn off some people. So definitely don't have that side. But yeah, I think just honestly like be yourself. I know everyone says that, but they honestly are just looking for genuine people. You kind of get involved in a bunch of things that you're passionate about, not just for a resume builder.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, as we all know, well, obviously we know better than people watching right now, but dental school can be extremely, hectic and stressful, sometimes frantic. So how do you kind of manage your work-life balance? And, you mentioned earlier that UPenn has they put on different events and stuff, doing orientation. Do they kind of continue with that throughout the year to help you manage your work-life balance and kind of, balance your social with your professional life in that aspect?
So yes, dental school is very stressful. So I mean, there have been times where, there's times where like you're very stressed out and you have
Yeah.
to basically balance a lot. But I feel like first year they don't have like more orientation related activities, but I feel like as you start making friends and things like that, you like make plans with them, you go out, go out to the bars, you get some food, or like kind of like make your own like work-life balance in a way. But there's definitely time for that. You just have to make the time for it. Like
Okay.
personally, like first year was like it started off like they kind of transition you into everything, which I liked. They kind of like gave you like an extra reading day on before the first exam, like stuff like that we don't get I wish I um, yeah, we got that. So it was nice. So it kind of like they eased you into it, and then it got like real hard and started picking up. But by then, like everyone kind of knew where they were with studying, so
Mhm.
they would know like how long to study for something, and then know like when to have fun too. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you do get into dental school, and I hope all of you do,
Oh, they will.
um, yeah, so you'll kind of get that sense of like you'll know where I'm trying to say. It's hard for me to explain it, but I'm basically saying like you'll know your own work-life balance. Like personally, like on the times that I'm free, I'm not necessarily like going out or whatever. Like sometimes I like to stay in and
Right.
be me. But for me, like my work-life balance is like on the weekends I like to hang out with my friends, or or like go to happy hour even during the week.
Mhm.
Or like be at home, watch some movies, or even like, sometimes I go home back to Maryland just to be with fam. So I would say that would be my work-life balance. I try to make some time at least during the day too. Like for example, like if I'm studying all day, during my meals, I'll like put on Netflix
Yeah.
and eat and watch TV for like 20 minutes. And that would be my break, because you will burn out very easily if you just study
Oh yeah.
all the time. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my little breaks when I would be like cramming before an exam. But yeah.
Got you. Okay. Definitely perfect. So I guess for everyone out there, you mentioned also that they're big on research as well as, the clinical aspect. So I know a lot of people that are applying now are really big on trying to figure out clinical bases within the school and stuff like that. What is the progression exactly from first year to fourth year? Is it pure? Do you continue to take classes in the third and fourth year, or is it pretty much all clinic by then?
So third and fourth year, we start clinic. Third year, we still have classes, but
Okay.
less classes. And it's only one class a day before you either are in clinic where you see your own patients or you're on a rotation. So it's definitely not as stressful in the didactic sense. I would say it's a little bit more stress. I guess that stress that gets deducted from that is added on by clinic stress, which is a whole different kind of stress.
Right.
But yeah, so in terms of like classes, like first and second year, we have a lot of like full-time classes, but we have lab, which prepares us for clinic. And then third year, we still have classes and exams along with clinic. And then fourth year, you're just in clinic. So there's no classes or exams.
Got you.
Mhm.
Got you. So we're gonna wrap up soon here, but
Yeah.
I just want you to kind of highlight any, you know, anything again, like you might even mention it already, but any major advantages that you see at UPenn that you feel like are very unique or are kind of making your experience there unique in itself that you wouldn't want to change at all. Like,
Wow, that's hard. But so I did mention the curriculum, and at first I was very wary about it.
yeah,
Not wary, I was more just like very confused because I've never had a curriculum like that
okay,
um, before. But now that I'm in clinic, I actually appreciate that a lot. It was very like it kind of tied in a lot of stuff.
mhm,
Like it wasn't just like, oh, here's this. I mean, yeah, we would have a unit on a specific like system or something, but like we would also have like situations where they would like tie it in with like the dental related things, and and so I appreciate that, like kind of like connecting all in my brain as I'm in clinic.
right,
I would say Penn is a little bit more medicine heavy than most schools. Some schools are very dental, like clinic oriented.
mhm,
Penn's a little bit more well rounded in terms of like the systems and how everything connects.
okay,
So if you're very interested in that, that's something you can look forward to if you go to Penn. But um, so I would say that's something that makes Penn a little unique from other schools. Also, like I would say, like with change, there's a lot of change that happens at Penn. Um, so they're always looking for ways to improve. So we have that sense of stability, but we also are willing to look for changes.
okay.
Um, like
Kind of progressive.
yeah, they they hold town hall meetings where you get to talk to the dean, and the administration. So you feel like you have a say, and like sometimes they'll make changes, but it's like they have a purpose for that. So it's not very. It's like, so if you're looking for a school that is moving and changing with the times, and would definitely be one to go to. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So just to wrap up, this is gonna be the last question, but if you have any last words or like great gems that you can offer to not necessarily anyone applying to UPenn, but anyone applying to dental school or interested in dental school in general.
Yeah. Um, I would say definitely go to a school that makes you feel like you belong there.
Okay.
I went to interviews and I would get different vibes than I would like than other people would, and that just made me like I didn't feel like like I belonged there, even if it was a great school. Like, but you kind of want to make your decision like, oh yeah, this is a great school, but also like where you see yourself. Like if you can visualize you being there and this is the environment you want to be with, and these are the type of people you want to be with, then like that is a huge deal because you're going to be here for 4 years. Don't want to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But like definitely go with your gut feeling. That's honestly what I will say because it's very easy to do too. Like, you know, you'll know right away whether or not you like this school or not. And there will be like issues with like finances and things like that, which I totally understand. And I had to deal with that as part of my decision as well. But I realized personally for me, I like when I came to Penn, like for like when I walked into the door for the interview, I just knew like this is where I wanted to go. Regardless, and I mean, not regardless, I didn't know if I'd get in, but I mean, when I did, I was still interviewing for other schools. So, but I still couldn't get it out of my head. And I was like, I want to go there, even though I'm interviewing with other schools. So, if that's like the vibe you're getting from a specific school, like, and they accept you, I'm go with your gut feeling, honestly.
Right.
You're great wherever you are, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
Well,
I would.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for those gems. That's great advice. I definitely would definitely concur with that. Like, if you don't feel right there, it may not be the best place for you, and you should feel comfortable because, like you said, you're investing a lot of money and a lot of time there. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, makes sense. So I mean, we're gonna wrap up now. If there is any way, you know, whether it's just a school website or email or anything, like how could anyone learn a little bit more about you then?
So our admissions office is very available all the
Okay.
time. Like actually I'm a tour guide too. So like for interviewees, we like hold like tours during the interview day, but also like if you're a prospective student interested, all you have to do is just go to the website and go to the admissions tab and there'll be an email or phone number and you can just call and
Okay.
they're very accommodating. Like we've been interviewing like some people that are thinking of applying but haven't applied and they'll always like email out to all the tour guides like, hey, is anyone available to, you know, take so and so prospective student on a tour with their family? Like, yeah, so we will be able to answer a lot of your questions. And if you're like also choosing between schools, which is very difficult to do, we have they can provide you with a database or like a spreadsheet that has like students that volunteered their contact information and like what schools they were choosing between. I personally gotten emails from a couple people like asking about choosing between certain schools that I chose, and it's just nice to hear from someone.
Right.
I wish I knew about that when I was applying, but yeah, that's really big. So definitely look, you can ask about that, and they're very accommodating and they're easy to reach too.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll make sure we put that information, the link to the school actually, or the admissions department down in the description of the video, but don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate the time that you did take out of your busy schedule to sit down with us and give us that good perspective on UPenn.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Good
Man,
luck to everyone out there.
thank you, and good luck to you heading in, finishing up third year, heading into your last few years. So.
I'll need it. No, I'm kidding. I hope
I know you can't wait to, well, you got one more year and then you're out of there. So
yeah.
best of luck to you. And for everyone else out there, I hope you guys are really taking heed to the information. This is great information. Hopefully this helps you make a more informed decision on what dental school is going to be right for you. Anyone else, keep tuning in. We're going through all the schools across America. So maybe this might not be the school for you, but there will be one that you can find more information on. And thank you again, Naisha. For everyone out there, if you haven't already, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell so you know whenever we post up new content. That's going to be it. Thank you, guys.
Bye.